Welcome to my channel. Dhanesh here. Let's get started. Introduction to Artificial Neural Network. An artificial neural network, ANN, is the piece of a computing system designed to simulate the way the human brain analyzes and processes information. It is the foundation of artificial intelligence and solves problems that would prove impossible or difficult by human or statistical standards. Neural networks can perform the following tasks. They can translate text, identify faces, recognize speech, read handwritten text, control robots, and even lots more. Next, we will discuss about different layers in artificial neural network. The neural network is constructed from three types of layers: input layer, hidden layers, and output layer. Input layer, the initial data for the neural network. Hidden layers, intermediate layer between input and output layer and the place where all the computation is done. Output layer, it produces the result for given inputs. Next we will discuss about the weights and biases, commonly referred to as W and B. See, weights and biases are the learnable parameters of a machine learning model. Neurons are the basic units of a neural network. When the inputs are transmitted between neurons, the weights are applied to the inputs along with the bias. Weights control the signal or the strength of the connection between two neurons. In other words, a weight decides how much influence the input will have on the output. Biases, which are constant, are an additional input into the next layer that will always have the value of 1. You can see the equation y is equal to mx plus b. This is the equation of a straight line. Here m normally denotes the weight w and b denotes the bias. If you take the equation of a straight line, m is the slope of the line and b is the y-intercept. Next, we will discuss what's happening inside an artificial neural network. There are two steps. The first step is take the weighted sum. Y is equal to wx plus b. W is the weight and b is the bias. Second one is the apply the activation function to the weighted sum. So what is an activation function? An activation function is a very important feature of an artificial neural network. They basically decide whether the neuron should be activated or not. In artificial neural networks, the activation function defines the output of that node given an input or set of inputs. There are different types of activation functions: hyperbolic tan, ReLU, sigmoid, identity function. It's shown in the diagram. We will discuss in detail about the activation functions. So different activation functions are sigmoid, tanh, ReLU. So the mathematical formula for sigmoid, it is 1 by 1 plus e raised to minus x. Tanh, it is known as hyperbolic tan. It is e raised to 2x minus 1, the whole divided by e raised to 2x plus 1. ReLU is rectified linear unit. So these are the different activation functions. Next, I am going to discuss about the architecture of the artificial neural network. Here, x1, x2, x3, etc., xm represents the inputs, w1, w2, w2, w3, and wm represents the weights, and y in is the net input, f is the activation function, and capital Y is the output. The net input can be calculated as y in is equal to x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 plus x3 into w3 plus etc. xm wm. That is, the net input y in is sigma I to m x I w I. The final output can be calculated by applying the activation function over the input, that is y is equal to function of y in. Next, I am going to discuss about different types of artificial neural networks: feed-forward neural networks, recurrent neural networks, convolutional neural networks are different types of neural networks. What are all the advantages of neural network? Storing information on the entire network. Information such as in traditional programming is stored on the entire network, not on a database. The disappearance of a few pieces of information in one place does not prevent the network from functioning. Next is ability to work with incomplete knowledge. After ANN training, the data may produce output even with incomplete information. The loss of performance here depends on the importance of the missing information. Having fault tolerance. Corruptions of one or more cells of ANN does not prevent it from generating output. This feature makes the network fault tolerant. Having a distributed memory. In order for ANN to be able to learn, it is necessary to determine the examples and to teach the network according to the desired output by showing these examples to the network. The network success is directly proportional to the selected instances, and if the event cannot be shown to the network in all its aspects, the network can produce false output. Next is gradual corruption. A network slower over time and undergoes relative degradation. The network problem does not immediately corrode immediately. Ability to make machine learning, artificial neural networks learn events and make decisions by commenting on similar events. Parallel processing capability. Artificial neural networks have numerical strength that can perform more than one job at the same time. Next, I am going to discuss on the disadvantages of artificial neural networks. Hardware dependence. Artificial neural network require processors with parallel processing power in accordance with their structure. For this reason, the realization of the equipment is dependent. Next is unexplained behavior of the network. This is the most important problem of ANN. When ANN produces a probing solution, it does not give a clue as to why and how. This reduces trust in the network. Next is determination of proper network structure. There is no specific rule for determining the structure of artificial neural networks. Appropriate network structure is achieved through experience and trial and error. Next disadvantage is difficulty of showing the problem to the network. Artificial neural networks can work with numerical information. Problems have to be translated into numerical values before being introduced to ANN. The display mechanism to be determined here will directly influence the performance of the network. This depends on the user's ability. Next is the duration of the network is unknown. The network is reduced to a certain value of the error on the sample means that the training has been completed. This value does not give us optimum results. Here I am going to discuss about the application of the artificial neural networks. They are chatbots, natural language processing, translation and natural language generation, NLG, stock market prediction, delivery driver route planning and optimization, drug discovery and development. These are all some applications, important applications of artificial neural networks. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Thanks a lot.